I mean, so Russ, like, here's the thing, like, it would be hard for any player to go from being the MVP of the NBA to then taking on a role where you're coming off the bench.
Russell Westbrook, a former MVP and 9-time All-Star, is now dealing with a tough situation. No NBA team seems to want him. Some people think his career is over, but other NBA players are speaking up to support him.
Always vouch for Russ. Always vouch for any time, any chance, that I can team up with Russ after that experience playing with him in Oklahoma.
Paul George, Patrick Beverley, and other players are standing up for Russell Westbrook. Their strong support makes people wonder, why is the NBA turning away from one of its former stars? In the NBA, loyalty is rare. Players often switch teams and compete against former teammates. But when 36-year-old Westbrook became a free agent and went unsigned, something unusual happened. The players who know him well didn't stay quiet. They spoke out with real emotion, some even angry, because they felt the league was showing serious disrespect to one of the game's greats. These weren't just casual comments, they were heartfelt and strong defenses of Russell Westbrook, showing how much respect and loyalty he's earned from those who've played with him. One of the loudest voices was Michael Porter Jr., Westbrook's former teammate on the Denver Nuggets, who had recently been traded to the Brooklyn Nets. On September 23, 2025, Porter spoke openly on the *respectfully Justin Labboy show. He didn't hold back. He talked about watching Westbrook go through one of the toughest changes an athlete can face, going from being an MVP-level superstar to taking on a smaller role. Porter's frustration was clear from the very beginning.
Russ, like, here's the thing, like, it would be hard for any player to go from being the MVP of the NBA to then taking on a role where you're coming off the bench, but you still have, like I said, even me, going from being the best player to then having some injuries and have to accept, like, okay, like, I need to figure out a role. That's tough. So for Russ to go from MVP to then be told he's gonna play this type of role and to then, go to these different teams and get disrespected by so many people. When he went to LA, he was disrespected crazy. When he went to the Clippers, people hated on him crazy. Meanwhile, he's been the MVP of the NBA, so I feel like all those things weighed on.
Michael Porter Jr. openly defended Russell Westbrook, calling out Lakers and Clippers fans for mistreating him during his time in LA. He addressed the rumors about Westbrook being a problem in the locker room and strongly denied them, saying, "That's cap." He bought into the system. He was cheering people on. Porter made it clear that Westbrook was a supportive teammate and didn't deserve the criticism he received. His words showed deep respect and support for Westbrook during a tough time in his career.
Me and Russ had a good relationship. I looked up to Russ in a lot of ways. When I was young, like, Oklahoma City was the team I watched, KD and him. So it was dope getting to know Russ, and he's a fierce competitor. Like, again, like, you talk about greatness, like Russ to this day, like, he's a little older now. Like, he can still move and stuff, but he's a little older. But every day he's in the gym getting shots up, doing his thing. The things that came out were like normal things that happen within an 82 game season in the NBA. I don't know who leaked some of the stuff in the locker room. I don't know if one of the coaches, but it was a little strange because, like, the things that came out, like, yeah, teammates are gonna, like, not see eye to eye and they're gonna get into it. It was little stuff though.
Michael Porter Jr.'s defense of Russell Westbrook stood out because it came from someone who had seen him up close. At 27, Porter had played alongside Westbrook during the 2024-25 season and witnessed how he trained, behaved, and supported his teammates. But he wasn't the only one speaking up. Patrick Beverley, a former NBA guard turned podcaster, also backed Westbrook strongly. On his show, the Pat Bev Pod on August 28, 2025, he said it was shocking that Westbrook hadn't been signed yet. He pointed out how Russ was still practicing daily, had shot 40% from 3 in Denver, and helped win playoff games. Beverley even mentioned that the Sacramento Kings were interested and might trade Malik Monk to make room for him. What made Beverley's support more powerful was their history. Back in 2013, a collision between them led to a serious injury for Westbrook. But by 2023, as Lakers teammates, the two had grown to respect each other and even built a friendship, connected by their shared battles in the league and constant media pressure. Patrick Beverley continued to stand up for Russell Westbrook, directly challenging the long-standing claim that Russ was a locker room cancer. He said, "When I was with the Lakers, I was like, Russell Westbrook, a cancer? Nah, that's cap. He was the hardest worker. Brought energy when we needed it." Coming from someone who had played with Westbrook and had no reason to lie, Beverley's words carried weight. Paul George, another former teammate from both the Thunder and Clippers, also showed support. On his podcast, Podcast P with Paul George on August 15, 2025, he said he couldn't believe Westbrook was still unsigned. That's wild to me after what he did in Denver. Coming off the bench, sparking that run to the semis. Teams sleeping on a guy who's still crashing boards like it's 2017. He also praised Russ's leadership, saying it helped keep the Clippers focused when both he and Kawhi were injured. George's comments were especially meaningful because he had played with Westbrook during both good and tough times, giving his words a sense of real, lived experience.
I always vouch for Russ. Always vouch for any time, any chance, that I can team up with Russ after that experience playing with him in Oklahoma. I'm going to be the first to voice, because it goes, people don't understand, it goes deeper than the on-the-court shit. What he bring off the court to a locker room, to an organization, is shit that it's one of one. You know what I mean? He's passion, he's, talk about somebody that's just all in and all about the team.
Paul George went deeper, reflecting on their time together in Oklahoma City. We wanted him back in, no cap. He's just so valuable. Not just the points or dimes, but that fire. He teaches the young guys how to compete. If Philly had space, I'd vouch for him tomorrow. What made these statements so powerful was the timing. These weren't compliments given when Westbrook was winning awards or dominating headlines. These were real, emotional defenses when he was being doubted, overlooked, and left unsigned. Porter, Beverly, and George weren't just being polite, they were using their platforms to send a message. You're wrong about this guy. You don't see the value he brings. You're making a mistake. And they weren't alone. Other respected veterans like Kevin Durant and Chris Paul also stepped up in defense of Westbrook. When asked about the criticism Russ often faces, Durant didn't hesitate in his response.
About Russ? No, not about criticism. I mean, people going to always criticize when you're successful and, you're doing your thing for this long, So probably going to always find something that they don't like about you.
Durant continued.
So, when he's retired, people are going to really tell the truth about how they feel about his game. Right now, it's a fun thing to do is to make a joke out of Russ, but he the way he's been playing is since he got with the Clippers, showed everybody who he really is.
Chris Paul added his perspective.
I feel like the only people to do that too is the people who don't know basketball.
Fact.
You know what I'm saying? And don't know what it's like to compete. I know for me, Russ is one of my closest friends. You know what I'm saying? And so people that do that, talk crazy, probably wish they could be in that situation. You know what I mean? So
Raymond Felton, another former teammate from Westbrook's Oklahoma City days, also voiced his frustration over how Russ has been treated. The man has been hated on his whole entire career. How can you just disrespect the man and his loyalty? Felton pointed to Westbrook's choice to stay in OKC after Kevin Durant left in 2016, a decision that showed his loyalty and strong character. Even Nikola Jokic, the reigning three-time MVP and Westbrook's most recent teammate in Denver, publicly supported him. After a game where Westbrook made some late mistakes, Jokic came to his defense, saying, "It happens, everybody makes mistakes." Jokic had already praised Russ before, showing that the respect extended beyond just former teammates. It came from current stars, too. Altogether, these players, Felton, Jokic, Durant, Paul, Porter, Beverly, and George, formed a chorus of voices defending not just Westbrook's talent, but his integrity, leadership, and impact on the game.
I'm kind of a little slower, so he just waits me to get to the spot, and he passed it always on the right time, so he always he's a great player. I think people and teams that he was past misunderstand him and didn't give him the opportunity to be who he is.
These weren't just random or one-off defenses, there was a clear pattern. Players who had actually shared the court and locker room with Russell Westbrook consistently spoke up for him, pushing back against the negative image built by media narratives and fan criticism. Austin Reeves, Bradley Beal, Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, all had, at different times, praised Westbrook's leadership, work ethic, and energy. These are qualities that don't show up in stats but are crucial during the long, demanding NBA season. The contrast was striking. Those who had played with Westbrook almost always had positive things to say. Yet much of the public conversation focused on his flaws, his shooting percentages, turnovers, and whether he could adjust his game. That leaves us with a key question: who should be believed more, the people who saw him work and lead every day, or the outside voices watching from a distance? The situation with Russell Westbrook is shocking, especially considering how much his teammates have defended him. Imagine this: it's September 30th, 2025. NBA training camps are underway, teams are ready, and the season is about to start. But there's one big surprise: Russell Westbrook, a 9-time All-Star, former MVP, and the all-time leader in triple-doubles with over 200, is still unsigned at 36 years old. Westbrook faces something new in his 17-year career: he doesn't have a team. This wasn't what anyone expected. Just months before, he had a strong comeback season with the Denver Nuggets. Coming off the bench for the first time in years, he averaged 13.3 points, 6.1 assists, 4.9 rebounds, and 1.4 steals per game, shooting nearly 45% from the field and improving his three-point shooting to 32.3%. He fit in well with Nikola Jokic, gave great energy off the bench, and helped Denver reach the Western Conference semifinals. Despite all that, he remains without a team as the new season approaches, an unexpected and surprising reality. Russell Westbrook played so well that he finished 7th in the 6th Man of the Year voting, a big deal for someone many had already given up on just a year before. But then, on June 29, 2025, he made a risky choice. He turned down his $3.4 million player option with the Nuggets, hoping to find a bigger role and better pay somewhere else. At the time, this made sense. He had just shown he could still play at a high level. Teams should have wanted his experience, leadership, and energy. People expected the phone to start ringing with offers. But as summer passed, free agency ended, and training camp started, that phone stayed silent. The market for Westbrook dried up, leaving this basketball legend in a strange and uncertain spot. This situation is about more than just one player, it's about a cultural icon who changed the game. Westbrook is a trendsetter on and off the court, the man who averaged a triple-double for several seasons straight, breaking Oscar Robertson's long-standing record and becoming one of the most dominant players in NBA history. Russell Westbrook is the player who stayed loyal to Oklahoma City after Kevin Durant left. He led a rebuilding Thunder team to the playoffs through sheer will and determination. A future Hall of Famer and a member of the NBA's 75th anniversary team, Westbrook has given nearly 2 decades of hard work and passion to the game, but now, things are different. On Media Day, September 29, 2025, Westbrook was nowhere to be seen. While his teammates smiled for cameras, talked about their championship goals, and showed off their new jerseys, Westbrook was absent. Seeing every other NBA team gathered without him shocked the basketball world. Social media exploded with reactions, fans couldn't believe it. One fan wrote, "Russell Westbrook is really teamless. It is Media Day. This is unreal, brew." The disbelief was clear, a basketball legend, left without a team as the new season begins.